Welcome back to the final video for Dragon Age Inquisition, everybody. So, yeah, as stated in the last video, my microphone got jacked up for some reason. So, this is why I'm doing a voiceover. So, I mean, yeah, we met up with Solus. He gave us the big revelation, which is going to lead into the new game, so we'll see what's going on with that. I can't even remember most of my commentary that I made, but it was a pretty decent, no, that's an understatement, it was a very good DLC to a very good game. You know, I'm just happy I got a chance to play.
Your forces have failed.
I'll just let these things play
now
out.
And tell the Canary to trouble me no further.
Solus.
That should give us more time. I suspect you have questions.
How were you able to control the anchor?
In the same way as when I stopped it from killing you at Haven. Although I am stronger now. The mark you bear was bestowed upon you by the orb of Fen'Harel. My orb.
You're Fen'Harel.
I was Solus first. Fen'Harel came later. An insult I took as a badge of pride. The Dread Wolf inspired hope in my friends, and fear in my enemies. Not unlike Inquisitor, I suppose. You also know the burden of a title that all but replaces your name.
Okay, so here I was thinking, just based on everything that happened to Goliath so far, right? Best friend betrayed him. You got put into a shitty situation to begin with. The whole world thought you were responsible for killing somebody. You save Ferelden, they're ungrateful. You save Ole, they're ungrateful. And then to find out it's because of you and everything you wanted to do that I'm in this situation to begin with. I was like, nah, you're the main reason. I would personally hold a grudge. So I was like, for that reason I felt like I would attack him.
You lied about everything.
I understand your anger. In your position, I would share it.
You're really him?
I sought to set my people free from slavery to would-be gods. I broke the chains of all who wished to join me. The false gods called me Fen'Harel, and when they finally went too far, I formed the Veil and banished them forever. Thus I freed the Elven people, and in so doing, destroyed their world.
You love the Fade. Why would you create the Veil to hide it all away?
Because every alternative was worse.
Meaning?
Had I not created the Veil, the Evanurus would have destroyed the entire world.
You banished the false gods? You didn't kill them?
You met Mythal, did you not? The first of my people do not die so easily. The Evanurus are banished forever, paying the ultimate price for their misdeeds.
You said that the Elven gods went too far. What did they do that made you move against them?
They killed Mythal. A crime for which an eternity of torment is the only fitting punishment.
I thought Mythal was one of the Evanurus.
She was the best of them, She cared for her people. She protected them. She was a voice of reason. And in their lust for power, they killed her.
The Evan were elven mages. How did they come to be remembered as gods?
Slowly. It started with a war. War breeds fear. Fear breeds a desire for simplicity. Good and evil, right and wrong, chains of command. After the war ended, generals became respected elders, then kings, finally gods. The Evan.
How did creating the Veil destroy the world?
You saw the remains of Via Dathara. The library was intrinsically tied to the Fade, and the Veil destroyed it. There were countless other marvels, all dependent on the presence of the Fade, all destroyed. The elven legends of immortality, all true. It was not the arrival of humans that caused them to begin aging. It was me. The Veil took everything from the elves, even themselves.
That's the past. What about the future?
I lay in dark and dreaming sleep while countless wars and ages passed. I woke still weak a year before I joined you. My people fell for what I did to strike the Evan down. But still, some hope remains for restoration. I will save the elven people, even if it means this world must die.
Why does this world have to die for the elves to return?
A good question, but not one I will answer. You have always shown a thoughtfulness I respected. It would be too easy to tell you too much. I am not Corypheus. I take no joy in this. But the return of my people means the end of yours. It is my fight. You should be more concerned about the Inquisition, your Inquisition. In stopping the Dragon's Breath, you have prevented an invasion by Qunari forces. With luck, they will return their focus to Tevinter. That should give you a few years of relative peace.
What's wrong with the Inquisition?
You created a powerful organization, and now it suffers the inevitable fate of such. Betrayal and corruption.
It's not that simple.
Isn't it? Perhaps we should ask your friend, the Iron Bull. Tell me, where is he? Do you know how I discovered the Qunari plot? The plot I disrupted by leading them to your doorstep. The Qunari spies in the Inquisition tripped over my spies in the Inquisition. The Elven Guard who led you to the Qunari body? Who intercepted the servant with the Gatlock barrel? Mine.
So you let us do your dirty work.
The mistake was yours to fix, Inquisitor.
The Qunari said the Inquisition was unknowingly working for agents of Fen'Harel.
I gave no orders.
You led us to Skyhold.
Corypheus should have died unlocking my orb. When he survived, my plans were thrown into chaos. When you survived, I saw the Inquisition as the best hope this world had of stopping him. And you needed a home. Hence, Skyhold.
You gave your orb to Corypheus?
Not directly. My agents allowed the Venatori to locate it. The orb had built up magical energy while I lay unconscious for millennia. I was not powerful enough to open it. The plan was for Corypheus to unlock it, and for the resulting explosion to kill him. Then I would claim the orb. I did not foresee a Tevinter Magister having learned the secret of effective immortality.
What would have happened if Corypheus had died and you'd recovered the orb?
I would have entered the Fade using the mark you now bear. Then I would have torn down the veil. As this world burned in the raw chaos, I would have restored the world of my time. The world of the elves.
If you destroyed the veil, wouldn't the false gods be freed?
I had plans.
I never thought of you as someone who would do that, Solus.
Thank you. You must understand. I awoke in a world where the veil had blocked most people's conscious connection to the Fade. It was like walking through a world of tranquil.
We aren't even people to you.
Not at first. You showed me that I was wrong. Again. That does not make what must come next any easier.
You never cared about us. We were the means to an end.
You were people, and you deserved better. Like all the rest I've used in one hopeless battle after another.
You control the Illuvians now?
Yes. You remember Briala from Halam Shiral? For a time, she controlled part of the labyrinth. One of my agents was supposed to take it from her, but he did not succeed. I had to override the magic personally. The Qunari stumbled upon this section independently. With them gone, the Illuvians are now mine.
There's still the matter of the anchor. It's getting worse.
Yes, I'm sorry. And we are almost out of time. The monk will eventually kill you. Drawing you here gave me the chance to save you. At least for now.
If I live, I'm coming to stop you.
I know. Take my hand. I'm sorry. Live well, while time remains.
Something must be done, but we cannot lose the Inquisition now. We stand on the brink of war with the Qunari.
Yes, because this Solas provoked them in the first place.
The Inquisition did not cause this threat. We informed the Summit of the danger.
The danger posed by Qunari spies inside your organization.
Without our organization, I doubt you would be alive to complain.
No one has forgotten what you have done. But Corypheus is 2 years dead.
If the Inquisition is to continue, it must do so as a legitimate organization, not a glorified mercenary band.
Inquisitor.
You all know what this is. A writ from Divine Justinia authorizing the formation of the Inquisition. We pledge to close the breach, find those responsible, and restore order. With or without anyone's approval. It wasn't a formally authorized treaty that saved Ferelden's people. It wasn't careful diplomacy that ended your inane civil war. It was never about the organization. It was about people doing what was necessary. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a world to save. Again. Effective immediately. The Inquisition is disbanded.
Punched. Well, is it so right?
Hey, at least in the end, the hero ends up with his love, you know? That's a good thing. In short order, the Inquisition was disbanded. Some were relieved to see the unpredictable organization dismantled. Others preferred to remember the Inquisition's good works and the many lives it had saved. Those who had served returned to their former lives, knowing they had stopped a great evil from destroying the world. And hoping that the peace for which they had fought remained once the Inquisition was gone. With the dragon's breath disrupted, and any hope of a swift victory dashed, the Canary retreated back to the north. Few knew what debates were waged in Parvalan, but not long after the Exalted Council, the Canary launched new attacks against Tevinter. And I feel like that's actually going to play out in the next game. Their aggression caught the already unstable Imperium off guard. Tevinter was soon mired in war many feared could spread across Thedas. I feel like the Canary is going to play a major part in the next game. The Exalted Council remained intact, advising Divine Victoria on important matters. Cassandra served for several years. However, she eventually became disgusted by Vivienne, not surprising, who she felt was perverting the Chant of Light's intent, and left the circle. Left the council. Cassandra also spent time in the Hunterthorn Mountains north of Orlais, where she worked to rebuild the Seekers. For a time, the new Seekers remained reclusive, showing no interest in worldly affairs and working to purpose few outside their order could guess. While Cassandra and the Inquisitor were often separated by duty, they still found time to be together. It was not unusual to see the Inquisitor appear unexpectedly at Cassandra's side, or her at his, as they worked to restore order. Still upset my boy really lost his arm. Those who knew her from earlier days said that while she was always true to her calling, they had never seen her smile so often. As the Inquisition forces returned to civilian life, its mages pushed for independence from the Circle. Divine Victoria, secure on her sunburst throne, and with a rebuilt Chantry Circle at her disposal, chose to be magnanimous. She grudgingly allowed them to remain as the College of Enchanters as a mark of her regard for the Inquisition. For the next few years, the College and the Circle coexisted peacefully, if barely. Liliana continued to act as the Inquisition spy master in its final months as an independent organization. During this time, she shared many of her responsibilities with her most trusted agents, including Charter, Rector, and Harding. Many believed that Liliana feared what lay on the horizon and was grooming successors in anticipation of the challenges ahead. Liliana continued her romantic affair with the hero of Ferelden, even though their respective responsibilities often kept them apart. I want to see my hero. Whenever she could spare the time, Liliana would join her love at a villa on the waking sea, the house from Liliana's childhood. Those days were deeply cherished, for both saw the troubles that were to come. With the Inquisition disbanded, Sarah joined the Inquisitor in officially retiring from scaring people in high places. And I thought it was really cool that he got the kind of mechanical arm. By formal account and agreement, both would lead boring, safe lives. Nowhere special, doing not much at all. And with that comforting lie, those in power continued their fragile lives as though all was back to normal. Meanwhile, Red Jenny, an entirely separate person, not at all collectively embodied by Sarah, the Inquisitor, and countless friends. And I was saying it's really cool that he continued to have people in different, continue to make a difference or just have fun where and when the impulse struck. I was saying I'm glad he had different organizations he could rely on, with frequent visits to her widow, of course. Varric took up the role of Viscount, and with the help of his friend Hawk, rebuilt Kirkwall's damaged infrastructure, which I am very happy about. Under his rule, the city-state finally resumed its place as the major trade hub of the Free Marchers. He continued to ignore all the mail from both the Merchants Guild and the Prince of Starkhaven. It was never clear if the Iron Bull knew he would be forced to turn upon the Inquisition, or if he was lying the entire time. Regardless, after his death, Talvashaft mercenaries across Orlais and Ferelden were looked upon with suspicion. Well, yeah, because all Kunaris now, Those who remained in the south found their lives even harder as a result. Yeah, because of the Iron Bull now, people are going to look at the Canary with a lot of scrutiny. After the Inquisition disbanded, Cullen retired from active service. He returned to Ferelden, establishing a sanctuary for former Templars on land Divine Victoria granted to him, which I think is really cool. With his help, many Templars shed their lyrium addiction, and those whose minds were too far gone spent their last days in comfort. And he promised that, should his friends from the old Inquisition ever need him, his blade would be ready. Dorian returned to Tevinter to take his father's place in the Magisterium. As rumors flew about the Imperium's infighting, Dorian was spoken of often as a voice of resistance against corruption. Along with Magister Mevaris Telani, he formed a group called the Lycerni to restore and redeem Tevinter, a fight many thought hopeless. Those fighting by Magister Perversus' side noted that he kept in constant communication with the Inquisitor via message crystal. Whether for vital information or for moral support, these talks seemed to give Dorian the strength to continue his fight. And I'm glad that they're keeping in contact. After the Exalted Council, Thorm Rainier bid farewell to his friends and went to Wysound's fortress to pledge himself to the Grey Wardens for good. While he was rarely seen in the years that followed, some said they encountered Rainier in far-flung lands. Their accounts were always similar. Rainier carried out the duty of the Wardens, but always found time to help others along the way. Sometimes he served as a shield for the defenseless. Other times he spread simple cheer among children with gifts of small carved toys. With the Inquisition disbanded, Josephine made her farewells and returned to Antiva and her family. In a few years, Josephine's parents stepped down and Josephine became the official head of House Montilier. So she rich. She devoted her time to managing the estate's finances and navigating the social whirl of Antiva. Cole returned to the Fade, saying that there was more pain coming, and that he knew where compassion would be most needed. He promised that his friends in the Inquisition would remember him, and that where the hurt was greatest, he would help. After the events of the Winter Palace, elves left the Inquisition under mysterious circumstances, as did elven servants across Status. There's a war brewing. None could say where they went, but those who believed in the Inquisitor's story about Fenhorel wondered just how large the Dread Wolves' forces were. Yeah, there's a major war coming. And what the ancient elven rebellion had planned.
My agents have found nothing. With the Illuvians, he could be anywhere.
With the Inquisition officially disbanded, we have no army, no formal alliances.
We have what we truly need.
We will need to be careful.
Solus knows everything about us. Who we are, how we work, our strengths and weaknesses.
Then we find people he doesn't know. We will stop Solus by any means necessary.
So yeah, in all, it was a great game. I had a fantastic time. But you know, as an adult who's married, has a job, has children, don't really get that much free time to play video games. I mean, I'm not doing this for a living. I mean, if I could, that would be amazing. But I do thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time in Dragon Age: The Veilguard.
Is this a new book? All this shit is weird. Oh, Varric, that is a terrible title. What are you even thinking? The sky churned like a rolling sea on a dark and stormy night, centered on a gaping hole that led to the arse end of nowhere. A hole that spit up many things that day. Comets, demons, and a whole lot of trouble. It's about the Inquisition. The din of the tavern cut the silence like it owed the carter money. In the middle, in her element, Red Jenny. She looked me up and down, mostly down. Not playing, weirdy, she said, gesturing with and dismissively eating a sandwich. Don't write that. Seriously, piss up a robe. Sarah made the subtext text, which suited me fine. The court enchanter swirled into the room like a drop of beautiful poison spreading in a wineglass. She sized me up with a glance. I'm so glad you made it, my dear, she said. I am Madame de Fer, the most terrifying person you shall ever meet. enfolded Alphonse in an embrace as warm as a serpent's kiss. I always knew I could count on your support. The Count did not feel the bite of her poisoned dart until it was too late. Even if it requires your death. Drops of rain glistened on the griffin medallion grasped tightly in Blackwall's hand. The silver-eyed wings of valor, they mean nothing. He flung the medal to the cold and uncaring ground. You don't know what I've done. You don't know me. So romantic. Cole moved like a shadow that also moved like a knife. A shadow wearing a hat where dreams came to die. It's a riddle, he whispered. A cold riddle that gnaws at your mind, but you'll feel better when it's gone. That makes as much sense as anything Cole says. Do you place your herald above the law, Ambassador? Whose law, my lady? Josephine's eyes glittered like angry opals. The law destroyed by rebellion, by civil war, by poor fiscal management. We are the law. We left our mark on adamant, but the dust hadn't settled, and neither had Harding. I can offer you a drink, if I catch your meaning.
If you'd caught my meaning, you'd have offered a double.
What is even happening here? The Iron Bull was a great slab of muscle with horns that could hang a tapestry. One eye scanned for threats, while the other hid behind an eye patch like a chantry sister's old sins. Come on, he barked, not looking back as he entered. The dancer with the great rack comes on in 5. That is spot on, actually. The commander had the look of a Templar who had seen the worst of humanity, yet still had the time to style his hair. This isn't just a war, he said, his gaze steely like a dull blade. It's the only war. Cullen! That's Cullen! The mage wore a class of handsome sneer cultivated by 1,000 years of Tevinter elitism. The name's Dorian, he glared. D-O-R-I-A-N. Spell it right, you marble-headed lump, or it's toad time. A toad? That's hardly credible. The bold elf spun, mage staff crackling like the city after a good man's murder. You're crazy, the Red Templar cried in terror. Moonlight glinted off ears like the knives you never see coming. Better to fade out than burn away. Ugh, Varric. Wait, where am I? I don't... Oh, here it is. The Seeker clutched at my vest, her tears as desperate as they were pitiful. Varric, I was wrong about everything, she sobbed. Could you find it in your noble heart to forgive me? That dwarf, he put me in the book! I'm in the book! I am reading the shit out of this!